Hi Gemini, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your messages for June 7th to the 13th. I'm not even going to say your general messages because there's just so much going on this week. I'm doing you guys first because you guys are the birthday babies right now, and this eclipse that we're having on the 10th is all about you guys, right? It's happening in Gemini. So the way I'm going to work this reading is I'm going to discuss that a little bit. I'm going to break it down, the eclipse, lightly what it is, some things that are going to be going on that we are feeling right now, to the point where it's like, all right, first of all, Gem, how many of you feel like you're trying to go from one phase of your life to another? So think about it like maybe it's crossing a street, but one thing keeps popping up after another, to the point where you're like, okay, seriously, where's the hidden camera? Like, okay, enough already, enough. It's like you're being pushed in this other direction that is really not comfortable right now, but it is absolutely what's necessary for your life. So we're going to talk about that, and then I want to just pull a bunch of cards. I'm just going to pull a bunch of cards on the energies, and then I'll break it out into a specific read for whatever. I'll just connect it to relationship, whatever comes up. Why don't we just do that? Whatever comes up. How's that? Sometimes I don't even know how to articulate what I'm called to do. All right, so let's start off with the Divine Energy Oracle. Okay, I did put the boxes up here for once. I never remember to do that. So let's pull a few of these, and then we're going to get into, really, grieve your losses. Yes, my friends. Oh my gosh. Reevaluate your priorities. And Gem, as you're listening to this, you're going to know if you are truly in sync with your archetype of Gemini. Again, I say archetype because I don't know your chart and I don't know who you are personally. So we're gonna just be addressing all the energies that are being directed towards Gemini, the archetype. So we have grieve your losses, reevaluate your priorities, and build on solid ground. 3 really healthy energies. My goodness, especially because of what's going on. Look, the Gemini new moon eclipse on Thursday the 10th, on the heels of that lunar eclipse on the 26th, is conjunct Mercury Retrograde, Mercury our ruler, and squared Neptune, right? Remember, Neptune rules Pisces, along with Saturn squaring Uranus. This can feel very destabilizing, guys. It just can. I don't even want to try to sugarcoat it, because it's going to be a very heavy energy. It's not going to be the end of the world, but it's going to be a very heavy energy. And the spiritual meaning of this energy relates to mental confusion, deceptive communication, vulnerability. At the same time, there's this influence by some fixed stars that can give this feeling of self-confidence and courage, but also a tendency towards recklessness, belligerence, even treachery. So what's most needed, not only now, this energy is going to be rolling out over the next few months, is caution and honesty for all the signs, I'm going to break it into where it's specifically hitting you. But let's just talk about several of these aspects that are going to be rolling out that are going to make this very, very different than a typical solar eclipse, because a typical solar eclipse is supposed to bring external changes for the better, especially in the sign that is experiencing the energy, Gemini, which is you, right? This is all happening. This eclipse and the Mercury retrograde both happening in your first house of self right now. That first house of self, that's your physical appearance, that's the way you think, the way you engage with life, the way life engages with you. It's everything. That first house of self is how you yourself engage with all of the other energies in your life. So this is really big, because we also have the eclipse square Neptune, Mercury square Neptune, Saturn square Uranus, and those 3 things we need to discuss, okay? We need to discuss how those are going to be impacting you. Mercury retrograde, you guys know a lot, right? So we have chaos and conflict. Yeah, that sounds pretty much about right. Grieve your losses is being clarified by chaos and conflict. Reevaluate your priorities. We have yang. What are you feeling most passionate about? Maybe it's time to quell those things. Change your focus. What are you feeling very dug in about? What are you feeling very sort of in your ego, in your pride about? What are you feeling like has to be a particular way, right? Where maybe you're not finding yourself to be as, I'm not even going to say agreeable, but maybe as open to a cooperation as you normally would be. Build on solid ground is being clarified by the fates. Just understand, I mean, yes, hello. You know, look, I mean, you know, on top of all of this other stuff, let's not forget that right now you guys are the north node of the moon. Right? I mean, it's all, this is a Gemini energy is such a, it's such a faded energy for this year, all the way until until January rather, until the nodes change to Scorpio and Taurus. But right now it's in Sagittarius and Gemini. Sag is the south node and you as the north node. So these are very real, profound energies. So I'm going to pull a Healing Yourself reading card. 3 across. Then we'll kind of bring these into the energies that I'm feeling, how it's going to relate to the energies of this week. So we have grieve your losses being clarified by chaos and conflict, which is being clarified by courage. So there needs to be a lot of courage exercised right now for you, Gemini, for sure. Clarifying your, reevaluating your priorities, and this yang, we have this idea of home. So that could be literally a home that you are looking to purchase, or the idea of home, or your ability to feel grounded, rooted, safe, and secure, or even a combination of several of those ideas together, right? Now we have building on solid ground, the fates, and we have faith. I mean, really, so spiritual. Yes, everything is happening just as it should be. So why don't we first discuss this idea of Mercury retrograde, right? Obviously, this is happening in your first house of self. And Mercury retrograde can bring some trippy energy, right? Communication, technology breakdowns. But I think for more Geminis than not, it's going to really end up manifesting as almost like a nervous anxiety, a lot of dwelling on things, being very reminiscent about the past. Many of you are going to be unexpectedly meeting up with people from your past. Just people from your past, just in general. So you really want to take extra care, especially because you guys are ruled by Mercury, with your words. Try not to react too quickly to any arguments. Or if you're provoked, just watch how you respond to somebody. Try to respond instead of reacting. If you're writing emails, if you do anything like that, please make sure you triple check it before pressing send. Any sort of business negotiations are going to be in a state of flux, so just be extra careful about signing contracts. Anything that where you're engaging with life, everything, if you can literally press a bit of a pause button on engaging in anything contractual or needing to make any huge sweeping decisions, just until the beginning of July, that will be great. I realize we can't all do that, but you have to understand though that some important details will not yet be available to you, or might be unreliable, or you might be experiencing some dishonest energies right now, okay? So that has to do with the Mercury retrograde for you. And again, now we have for you this new moon, which is this big changes are happening in your first house of self. So expect that you're going to be doing a lot of changing over the next several months in particular. I see huge changes for all Geminis between now and the end of December, but particularly over the next several months, okay? Now, in addition to that, we have that eclipse and it's squaring Neptune. And this could have a weakening effect on your energy, Gem, especially because it's in that first house of self, making it hard for you to get motivated and really enthusiastic about anything, especially anything like hard work or anything like that. That's just going to require a lot of effort from you. Events or other people can cause confusion and disappointment right now. You might even feel insecure, guilty, or overly apologetic about stuff. You know, some of you, personal relationships can be dealing with some dishonesty and deception. So this is the tricky part here. Secrets are going to be harder to keep and harder to uncover. So the best that you can, really avoid being gullible right now. The best that you can. Love. Look at these beautiful major arcanas here. Page of Cups. Okay. Wow. See, and the page turns here, and the page turns with the Page of Cups. So we have this grieving your losses, be courageous. There's a lot of chaos and conflict going on in a particular part of your life, and the whole idea that you have to focus on here, Gemini, is what's fair, what's not. Gemini is about balance, the justice energy, rather, it's Libra. It's the 7th house of partnerships. So it's not only partnerships, it's contractual agreements as well. Any sort of contract like that. So you want to make sure that something is balanced and fair, right? Because it's a Venusian energy, right? So Venus is very focused on, do you feel good about this? Is this fair? Is it equitable? You really want to make sure that your emotional needs are being met. Now, some of you might also be experiencing some sort of challenging situation that almost feels like a test, particularly if it has anything to do with money or anything having to do with your career. Getting this does tell me, though, that things are going to go well, are going to go in your favor. Any kind of negotiation, any kind of, like if you have to do any kind of interview, anything where there's this meeting of the minds necessary, needed here is going to end up going well. If money's been an issue, things going better. So at the end of the day, if something for you seems really like a serious hot mess right now, just press the pause button on that. Just do me a favor, just see what happens. I appreciate those kind of comments. Let's wait and see what rolls out. I like that, all right, because I'm just reading the energy. I'm letting you know the astrology and I'm pulling the energy on it. This is what's coming through. Not yet. So don't make any judgment calls yet. Wait until we allow the energy to hit now. For some of you, you're feeling it already. A lot of you are. I know that. And that's perfectly normal and natural because the energies do not understand the man-made calendar. I think most of us know that. So the end result of reevaluating your priorities, where you might get in your own way, where you might be a little too agreeable, all of that. But at the end of the day, you're reevaluating your priorities in order to make sure that you're grounded, rooted, safe, and secure in something. And what that's going to do is bring you the beautiful Saturnian world energy, which is a beautiful gift that's long lasting. The world is a Saturn energy. So this tells me that you've been going through a whole lot in a particular area of your life, whether it's having to do with relationship, career, family situation. Maybe some of you are like, check, check, and check, you know? But this does tell me that there's some sort of lesson that you've learned at this point. And sometimes lessons are hard, right? Duh. Right? But a lot of times, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could say, okay, lesson learned, can we just delete that experience so that we can move forward in a very lighthearted way? Sometimes it's not so easy to do that. But this is nothing but good stuff ahead. And that's what I was feeling already to begin with. So this building on solid ground, something faded, have faith, all of this stuff is all going to end up bringing some sort of fabulous new proposal, some great, beautiful, I want to just say a positive emotional component to your life, whether it's that job you've been waiting to get, that relationship that you've been waiting to either get into or level up or whatever it is, that home that you've been trying to get into, whatever it is. The page indicates a new cycle and some sort of new offering, and it's coming in with this cup energy, okay? Now, we just want to be careful, though, here, while we're going through this, Gemini, you can be more susceptible to some psychological and health issues right now. I want to say that to you, especially because you have Uranus in that 12th. Uranus is hanging out in the 12th. Neptune rules the 12th. We have Uranus and Neptune hanging out in that 12th house of the subconscious. Don't be surprised if you're like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. Am I thinking clearly? You're going to start double, questioning yourself. You know what I mean? So it could be any sort of psychological or even health issue. Paranoia and hypochondria are possible, even when the energy is aspected like this. But you just may be more susceptible to infection, maybe just, catching a little something. So just watch out for your health, okay? If you're going to get anything diagnosed in this energy, there might be a misdiagnosis, so go for a second, third, fifth, 10th opinion kind of thing, all right? Now, on top of this, we have Mercury squaring Neptune, causing confusion, deception, insecurity, misunderstandings, distorted thinking, can complicate discussions and business dealings, okay? And this can be a little trippy. It just can be. So, and the thing is, like, the energy that this is happening in, remember, like, this Neptune energy is happening for you guys in your 10th house. So what is the 10th house? It's career. It's also marriage, though. It's many things. It's your ambition. It's take the idea that you see yourself moving forward in life, and that's the 10th house. What do you want to be known as? What do you want to be known for? So we're known as being married, we're known as being parents, we're known as being whatever our career is. Our public reputation is in that energy, right? Whatever it is, that's what we're talking about. But it really is about the integration of self into society. So some of you just might be like, I don't even know really what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not really sure where the hell I belong, where I fit. And it doesn't matter how old you are, how accomplished you are, there's going to be this weird sort of like confusing cloak laid over this area of your life. So you just want to really be very, very careful, okay? Particularly because with Mercury involved in this, even little white lies could lead to major embarrassment or the need for some sort of convoluted cover-up. So just be careful there. Avoid any sort of conspiracy theories or strange or extreme spiritual or religious views. Anybody who's like over the top on anything, again, press the pause button, say, I'll revisit this next month, and then see how you're feeling. And finally, the last thing I want to mention that's going to be impacting you guys is the Saturn square Uranus. Now, this is going to be happening. Saturn is hanging in your 9th house. So the 9th house of belief system. 9th house has to do with viewing life at a distance. It has to do with, for some of you, it's a possible indication of career. For others of you, it's your relationship to your in-laws. For others of you, it's representing the higher courts if you have some sort of lawsuit going on. But again, it's also about this idea of what pulls us forward, our belief system, our moral code, right? Our moral compass, our philosophy. So Saturn's hanging out in there, right? But it's squaring, so it's in tension with Uranus, which is all about the future and where are we going and what are we doing in that 12th house, okay? So, and this is going to be climaxing on the 14th, which is technically the day after this covers, but I'm certain you're going to be feeling it before that. And it's going to bring this like restrictive kind of change or unexpected restrictions to the eclipse energy. So it can bring change that you really don't want. And it also makes it harder to make the kind of changes that you do want. But this is happening in a very sort of subconscious part of your chart. So this is what I feel like for most of you you're going to be experiencing. You're going to be pushed, and I'm not saying, but you're going to be pushed and pulled at the same time, having to do with your belief system and what it is that you're allowing to happen. Some of you are going to be in this space where, first of all, it's very karmic. The 12th house is very, very karmic. So a lot of you are going to be battling between what it is that you want and what you believe to be your truth and how you think your life should be, versus the idea of where do you feel like you're needing to martyr yourself in your life? What do you feel like you're needing to sacrifice in order to make something happen? And this is going to be big. But the thing is, this part I feel like is going to be is very internal. So you're very in line with the archetypal energy right now if you're feeling very pulled, very drawn this way, belief system, but the way that the things are in reality. It can be a frustration with you feeling very frustrated and not being able to bring yourself something in your life that you really want for yourself right now, because you feel like it really is that thing, that one thing that's going to redeem where you're at in your life. It's that one thing. If only I got that job, if only I got that home, if only I was in that relationship, if only that family situation would work out. You know what I mean? Like, not that you're putting all your eggs in that basket, and this is happening in a very subconscious way, but it's this element where you feel like a particular path would redeem what you feel like that crooked part in your life is right now. But the thing is, you're being asked to step up, and you're being asked to look at things a lot more intently and learn something different, learn something new, because it's all about, Gemini, you guys are all about learning, and this is about the need to look at something from a different perspective, but it's going to be very, very uncomfortable. Now, not all is lost. This is the thing. This could be very frustrating, okay, but if you stay open-minded, patient, and flexible, right? That things that what at first seem like challenges can be turned into opportunities. Honestly, to rid yourself of negative and restrictive and very limited things in your life. It's like this block is going to be put up after block after block after block so that you could figure out a different way around it. But it's that very process that's going to be necessary to get you to the other side. Think about the labyrinth energy in the Lenormand. So that is what I see right now, just talking about the astrology right now. So yeah, I mean, look, grieve your losses. Whatever's not working out the way that you thought it was going to work out, allow that to grieve and allow that to pass. There's going to be chaos and conflict internally and externally because this is all happening in your first house of self. You're definitely going to need to be the bravest that you've been in a long flipping time, Gem. I'm not lying. Everybody, in the light community is talking about how this is such an amazing time period for Geminis. And I know so many are privately emailing me going, what the hell is that? I'm like, yeah, it is. But that's why I want to just give a little bit of truth here, a little bit of the reality. Yes, if you have a solar eclipse in your house, in your sign, yes, big, beautiful changes, except when you're dealing with this fighting Mercury retrograde, the square to Neptune, the square to Uranus. These things are coloring the experience right now. So we just have to go with it. It doesn't mean that the gift still isn't on the other side. It's just instead of going in a direct line, we're being made to go around the block. Okay? So that's the best way for me to put it. I hope that makes sense to you. So let's get into pulling some general energies. See what comes up. Let's see what comes up. Why don't we pull more, let's pull a couple more Divine Energy Oracle, and then why don't we lay a Celtic cross spread on top of that for relationship? Why don't we do that? See where we're dealing with in relationship. No. Say no, Gemini. Just say no. Strengthen your gifts. I like it. Okay. Admit your vulnerabilities. Okay. That's not too hard for Geminis to do, I don't think. It's the archetype anyway. All right, what are we doing here? Let's do this. Let's do the Gilded Tarot. This is the Gilded Tarot. And again, this is the Divine Energy Oracle. See, I'm trying to be good and tell you what cards I'm using. Nine of Wands, you're really trying to hold it together when it comes to something, but whatever you're waiting for is just, it's like not coming through right now. Whether you're waiting for a response having to do with a job, a relationship, some sort of investment opportunity, something going on in the family. You're waiting, you feel like you're waiting on something, but you're sort of stuck. Okay, so some new piece of information came into you regarding this person, regarding this situation, whatever it is, and it was meant to be helpful to you. Having to do, Spirit bringing you this message, getting help, right? Getting help to push something along. So maybe people will put in your path. Some sort of information came to you where you realize the situation in a different way. And you're in this space of just very much relying on your intelligence at this point. So even for some of you, it might have just been an epiphany, a realization having to do with a situation that you feel like you've been working really, really hard at and in, and you're exhausted. But you still have fire in your belly for it, but you definitely feel, I'm getting like this very, very defensive energy. Rightfully so, but you want to make sure that you don't stay in that space, right? You're very, very frustrated because what's blocking you is this Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands is good news coming in, that allows for a movement forward. So now we have the Chariot energy, Gemini. Chariot energy is about, moving on from something. Swift progress and change. A lot of determination is being indicated here. You're feeling very, very, very determined right now. I feel this very strongly. So for some of you, if this has to do with a relationship, something is expedited. Let's see what we have. We have the Two of Cups. Okay, very nice. Two of Cups. And we have the Five of Swords. Okay. Wow, hold on. Gemini, what's going on here? Gemini, for some of you are just going to be like, you know what? This is with a very heavy heart I say this. This situation, I'm saying as you, this situation is just not working for me. It's not. What I want in reality is not in alignment with what is going on here. My desires are clashing with my reality. And it's you realizing that that discrepancy is not coming from your end, but from the person or the situation. Maybe you're trying to make something work that's just not working. And some of you are just like, maybe it's time for me to find something new. Go after a new job, approach something from a different direction, go after a new relationship, just go after something else, because you're almost approaching this as, not even almost, you are approaching this from a very logical perspective, right? Very logical, without your emotions, because you're recognizing that you feel very disappointed. Some of you may even feel betrayed, maybe feel very, just heartbroken about something. Just really heartbroken. Some of you just might be feeling depressed. Some of you maybe are dealing with some sort of infidelity, or some sort of backstabbing from a family member or a business partner or something like that. And you're just saying, you know what? I'm realizing like what I'm doing, how something has been going. It can't keep going like that. So therefore the Chariot energy, we always have to pull energies like that when we get the Chariot. Those of you who are learning how to read, that's the right way to work the Chariot energy anyway. Because if you have to get the story, right? Now here, you're going to be moving away from the toxicity, to something obviously a lot more positive, right? Because there are some challenging energies here, the Five of Swords and the Three of Swords. So you're moving away from something, right? If it was just the Two of Cups energy here, I would say, okay, you're quickly going to be healing something, in a quick and good way. This is moving away from some sort of toxicity. We have the Queen of Cups as the foundation energy here. So the Queen of Cups is a conversation, right? It's a conversation. Gemini and Cancer. Gemini is about communication, and Cancer is about home, because Cancer rules the 4th house of home. Also, your ability to feel grounded, rooted, safe, and secure. What is it that you need? Very high emotionally intelligent energy here. This is an energy that's not afraid of intimacy, that's not afraid of what it takes. It's like, Gemini, you are so ready to just step up and do whatever is necessary to make your life work. And a lot of you may just feel like, I'm showing up, where are the opportunities? Or I'm showing up, why aren't they? And you really can't... It's probably best for you to not go along with that line of thinking for too long. Just feel very confident and comfortable in the fact that you're showing up in your life. And then, believe me, things are going to happen. You are feeling very sort of restless right now, disillusioned, wondering if what it is that you're going after is ever going to actually work out. And it's because it's like one thing after another. But Gemini, you're being asked to see something different. Going back to what I mentioned before, you're being asked to look at something from a different perspective. You need to look at, if something's not working, why is it not working? Taking the responsibility away from someone else and turning it back to you, but in a way of empowerment, and saying, all right, maybe I'm wanting something that's not actually good for me. Maybe I'm going after something that I'm not meant to be doing. Even if I'm pretty good at it, I'm not meant to be doing this, right? Something like that, okay? Where there's need to heal something, and you have to, and the only way to heal it is by recognizing that there's a way that something is being executed in your life. And this is to empower you. This is not to blame you or blame anybody else in your life, right? It's the Four Cups energy. Now, the energy that's external to you, that's surrounding you, is the Six of Pentacles. So this is really good, because this is about property and family, inheritance, generosity and support. If you've been struggling financially, things getting better, money coming to you. For a lot of you, this could be somebody from your past offering you support right now, financial, mental, physical, emotional, whatever it is, or you offering it to somebody else. So it's nice, because you're going from, while you're feeling this like, is anything ever going to work out? Something is going to shift. Something is going to come in that is, and it's a minor arcana, so it's not going to be like, I don't know, maybe some of you will win the lottery. I don't know, but it doesn't have to be that grand. It's just going to be kind of like just what you need in order to help shift. Now, the challenge that you're having right now is the Emperor energy. So the Emperor energy is, now for some of you, if you're, feeling challenged in relationship, if you're single, it's literally meeting somebody new that's worth your time. You might be meeting a lot of people, but it's like, yawn fest, or this disillusionment. Again, going back to that Four of Cups, it's like, am I ever going to meet the right one? You can meet many people, but they don't all check the boxes. But for others of you, this could be that your challenge is sort of being the leader in your own life right now. Like saying, all right, you know what? Everybody's fine. Everything's good, whatever. I need to pick myself up by the bootstraps, and I need to make things happen for myself, and then swoop back around and decide what situations I still want in my life at that point, right? Whether it's relationship, family connection, business connections, anything like that. But it really is in being a very self-empowered time period for you. And it's not going to be comfortable, but it's going to be so profound on the other side of this. It truly, truly is. And we have the beautiful Three of Pentacles in the near future, which is an energy of collaborating. Beautiful, success, rewarding work, allowing your talents to shine. This is an awesome and successful launch of something for those of you looking to get something out that's new. This could have to do with home improvements, the sale, the buying of a home. I mean, really, really, really good. Really good. So something coming in, but again, because, Gem, you do have Uranus squaring that Saturn energy in that 12th house between your 9th and your 12th, understand that this change is going to be so big. It is. It's going to be big. Where it's going to be changing how you do life. It really is. And that's always anxiety ridden, right? Of course, right? It can be this idea where things are changing and happening in a way that initially will not be in your view, not in alignment with your belief system. You're going to probably feel like there's something that you need to go along with that you're really not comfortable with, but where you know at the end of the day, it's going to help enable you to be a leader in your own life. And this could be not responding well to the external stress of that because your way out or through this situation with any great clarity is not clear to you right now. So if you're feeling that, don't worry, okay? Don't worry. That's exactly what you need to be feeling right now. Yeah. So that's just in general. Let me just pull a line for a relationship for you guys. So we have the Six of Swords. So this is about detaching, moving away. You know, allowing some space to do some internal work, at least taking a break from a relationship, just taking a break. But getting away from the toxicity. You want to take a break. Here's another taking a break card. Taking the time out for perspective. Really good energy to do some shadow work. Maybe speak to a therapist if you're so inclined, whatever it is. But you have to figure out a better strategy for moving forward regarding the situation that's going on in the relationship. We do have the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is a very nice energy of proposal. Very emotional time within an existing relationship for those of you who are partnered. Some of you are going to feel very wrapped up in a new partner, if that's the road that you're on right now. New friends can enter your life at this point as well. Or reconnecting with people from the past, right? Especially because of the Mercury Retrograde and how it's going to be impacting your first house itself. So a lot of you are going to be dealing with it like that. Especially those of you who are... So I'm even going to say that some of you may be in the space, not to cut myself off, but those of you meeting somebody new, let me just say that. Make sure the person, their walk matches their talk. But some of you are going to be stepping away from a connection that you're involved in. Somebody else new is coming in, and you might be ending this other relationship, or at least putting a time out to it, because the Death card is a scorpionic energy, is at least for the time ending something. If it's meant to come back around, it will, because this is all about endings and beginnings and transformation. So some of you are going to be ending something. Others of you are going to be ending it so that it could be transformed later on. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we have the Hangman being clarified by the Nine of Cups. You're having a really hard time figuring out what you even want right now in relationship. You're just not clear. It's this silly Neptune, man. Neptune is real, like, thorn in our side this month, for sure. You're really very focused on protecting yourself. You want that. Some of you might be thinking about somebody from the past and reconciling with someone from the past. But there's definitely a turning point, something very faded that's happening here. We have the Empress, which is straight Venus, and we have the High Priestess. Some of you may be visiting with somebody from the past and not telling anybody about it. You might be in communication with somebody and you're keeping it a secret, some of you. Some of you might be pregnant. You're not telling anybody about it. You're keeping it to yourself. And we have the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles is this energy where it's, first of all, if this is a person, this is somebody who's very loyal and dependable, but at the end of the day, they might be a little either boring or not quick to share their feelings in the way that you like, you know, in a way that you feel like you're going to be able to be intrigued for the long term, right? And we all know about, those of you who've been watching me know my little spiel about Geminis and relationship, right? So, you know, that could end up being the situation here. And then finally, we have the Tower reverse. So here, Gemini, you might find yourself taking responsibility even when you're blameless for a situation. And this could also indicate that you're holding on to a relationship that's not strong enough to stand the test of time. And if you've clung to the past just to protect yourself from the reality, your fears might materialize here and the collapse is inevitable. So you really don't want to blame yourself, right? Don't feel responsible for forces outside just your control, right? It's not just you, right? Even if you've seen this coming, a lot of you may feel the actual impact of it can feel very sort of sudden and dramatic, but soon you're going to know exactly where you stand. Yeah, I mean, so there's going to be this energy, this pain in the aftermath of the breakup. Feeling just a very strong lack of connection. Very strong lack of connection. And you're going to be in the space where you're motivated to find out the truth and the psychological motivation of this person or a person, or maybe even of yourself. You're going to be strong, though. You're going to be very determined and strong while you're going through all of this. We need to have some temperance here. Temperance is about a balancing out, the need to negotiate. You're trying to temper a situation, but at the end of the day, Gemini, I feel like you're dealing with an energy that is very Knight of Swords, right? This is somebody who's very determined and driven, very forthright, ready to fight what they believe in, right, in the relationship. But at the end of the day, they're not even really sure. They end up getting very bored. Maybe they're not even very good at relationship. You know what I mean? Some people are just not good at relationship. They could be wonderful people, but they're just not really good at the relationship thing, you know? And there's a lot of drama created. This person takes no responsibility for what they stir up, for any reconciliation, anything like that. But it's very much expect the unexpected type of energy, which is the season of that anyway. Yeah. Gemini, I mean, we have the 10 of Wands and the 2 of Wands. I mean, this is the card of overwhelm. It's too much. You can't do it anymore. It's time to go on a new path. Making plans and moving forward. This is me and a new romantic partner as well, possibly through work or friends. But there's definitely this new approach, this new. Just figure out what it is that you really want in relationship and follow that. Don't keep going back to something that's really not even giving you what it is that you want. It's not worth it. The clock is ticking forward, not backwards, right? All right, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.